Talking about this guy right here. There's a Hotknife 159 wide. They're not making this board anymore, but they should. Just like they should still make the Birdman. Man. On a day like today, typically I wouldn't bother with a magnet traction board because all the snow is going to be like soft, and you won't. There's not a temperature swing that includes a freezing level. You know, it's just all going to be softs. Typically, I'd ride my Jamie 160 wide on a day like today because the snow's going to be kind of heavy, and that board has a lot of energy in it. So anyway, I don't know. Paul sent me these joint bindings because they had some demo straps. It's the yellow things, and they wanted to see if they were going to hold and if they stretched much or whatever. Anyway, but this has the bigger disc in it, and versus a mini disc, and that bigger disc sort of stiffens up the base of the base plate of the binding. It doesn't really allow it to flex like a transfer can because of that size of that disc. But what that disc does do, it allows me to mount this board, because I'm not I'm not riding center stance boards. I'm not riding switch as much as I'm riding forward. I'm not taking off giant kickers switch. I don't, it's out of my wheelhouse these days. But this allows me on that big disc to get that. Like these are the last two bolts in that bolt pack, and it like you still get a pretty good flex that way, but I've been riding it 2 seasons like this, and I'm not a sissy. No issues. Talking to somebody who's, well, does that, you know, how does that mess with where the side cut is on the board and where your feet should be and etc.? Like, yeah, well, I suppose it does, but what I can tell you is that I've been around for a while, and putting your bindings on a board on a pill, when pill shapes, when true twin tip boards came out, I was around, and at that time, it was a symmetrical board, pill-shaped board, but you just kind of mounted your bindings on there where you thought you needed them, and I've always been tall, and so I've always needed some nose if I'm going to ride in deep snow. Anyway, so this thing, when I get on it, it's like it's got where my hips and weight need to be over the board, where the center of the board is. It feels very old school to me, but it's got magnet traction, all that stuff, and it's a little camber. It's a rad little deck, and I gotta tell you, man, like, it's a 59. I'm 6'4", 220, and it's enough for me on a fun day where you're just hitting side hits and dicking around, park stuff. It's like ideal. I wouldn't want it. I'm telling you, this board is stiff enough for a big dude to just punch that nose through stuff. It's got real girth. I think it'll last a long time. No, I guess I just wanted to get that off my chest, like, because like today the snow's a little bit warm. You know, it's the same. This whole review is on the same day, so the snow's a little warm. Where the sun's hitting it, it's starting to get cakey, and so you're like floating through the kind of still soft stuff, and you hit that cake or packed out turn. This doesn't explode on you, man. It punches through there. And it's got a kind of a low profile tip and tail, and I like boards that have kind of a lower profile, because when you punch it through snow, it's like the bend in the snow is how much the board takes, right? The lower profile takes less underneath the snow, so it doesn't. Anyway, it's all, you know, old snowboarder stoner stuff. But this board has a good amount of take. It's a ripper, man. You'd be stoked. Anybody that got this board likes the center stance. Down into here. Oh, take it. I'll take this. Ooh, little chop more here. Hotknife. Sling it in this shit. Oh. About this board again, like, yeah, part of the other things that I like about it is that it is a traditional symmetrical pill shape, like, you know, and it's got a 8-3, turns really tight, not like, it's kind of a park board, like resort board, freestyle, I would refer to as a young man's board. But I gotta tell you what, out of all the boards I have right now in my quiver, that includes a skunk ape, a couple of Jamies, 66 and a 60, bird, quiver killer. I got all those boards. Like, I know it's gonna sound a little bit crazy, but if I had one board out of all those, it'd be a really tough call between the Jamie, and I like the Jamie only because it manages my weight better. It's got a lot of energy in it. But like this board and a skunk ape, to me, in my quiver, like, I could probably live with just those two boards, because skunk ape handles powder. I mean, this does not handle powder well. It's not like I said, the camber is not like a dynamic camber. It's not flat, but with my weight, I don't ever feel it having any adverse issues in the deep snow. But as a traditional fucking ripping board that just kind of does it all and does it all really pretty well, this board's hard to beat, man. Like, if you find one, like I said, they don't make them anymore. If you find a used one, and it being wide is sick for me, because I'm a 12 and I wear 13s. Got a little wind up here, got a high overcast, it's pretty warm. Got a little chill up here. Maybe it's a good call I'm on a mag attraction board today. Could be.